Hi, good afternoon everyone. This week we're going to learn about differences in culture, chapter 3 in international business. Differences in culture. Okay, before I start, this is an introduction of the differences in culture. So you must know what is a cross-cultural literacy. Okay, it's actually an understanding of how cultural difference across and within nation can affect the way in which business is practiced. So it is important to success in international business. If you want to open your business internationally, you must learn their culture. So in these days of the global communication, there's rapid transportation, worldwide markets, also global brands, when the era of the global village seems just around the corner, and it is easy to forget how different various culture really are. So there are maybe a relationship between culture and the cost of doing business in the country of the region. Okay, it means that different culture are more or less supportive of the capitalist mode of the production and may increase or decrease the cost of doing the business. So it's important for you to learn the culture of different nation. Okay. The culture is not static, and the action of M&Es, multinational enterprise, can contribute to the cultural changes. So why the culture is important? So I give you example. An example in India, McDonald's and other Western fast food companies may help to change the dining culture of the nation, drawing them away from the traditional restaurants and toward fast food outlets. So same goes in Malaysia. Okay, you can see some of the menu in the McDonald's Malaysia, you cannot find it in other place. Okay, means that, for example, the ayam goreng spicy yang pedas gila. So other place you cannot find it because some of the country they don't like to eat spicy food. So this is how we know. This is how what you mean that you must learn the culture of the place that you want to open the business. So we proceed to the next one. What is actually the culture? Okay, culture is actually, you can see here. Okay, right. Culture is a system of values which is abstract idea about what a group's believe to be good, right, and desirable, and also norms, the social rules and guidelines that prescribe appropriate behavior in particular situations that are shared among the groups of people, and that when taken together constitute a design for living. Okay, on the other words, culture is the idea or customs of the social behavior of the particular people and also society, and we can call it as an umbrella terms. Okay, this is umbrella terms which encompass the social behavior and norms found in the human society. Means in the society, if you have some what we call as belief and norms, okay, that's actually the culture. While a society is a group of people who share a common set of value and norms. Normally, if you share common values and norms, you are the society under that certain culture. Okay. Now we move to the values and norms. Alright, let's proceed. Values. Okay, when we talk about values, is provide the context within which society's norms are established and justified. On the other words, values actually the principle. Okay, value is actually the principle, and also what we call as standards. The standards of behavior that one's judgment in what important in the life, also known as ethics and moral. So this is another definition of value: principles, standards of belief, okay, standard of behavior and ethics, and also moral. While norms refer to the social rules that govern the action of people towards one another and can be further subdivided into two. We have faultways and also mores. On the other words, norms actually something that usual, typical, like your habit lah, something that you always do. The usual thing that you do, the typical things, your standards. Okay, normally this norm are divided into two, which are faultways and also mores. Okay, we go one by one. Okay, faultways is the routine conversion of everyday life. Okay, it means that faultways is actually a traditional behavior okay, the traditional behavior or way of life of a particular community or group of people. So it's the way of life of a particular community. So example is include the appropriate dress code in a particular situation. If you want to go to funeral, there's an appropriate dress code, good social manner, eating using the correct utensils, neighborly behavior, and so on. So if you are like violating this walkway, it's actually not a serious matter, and they not consider you as bad. So for example, if wearing the sexy clothes, some of the particular community they cannot accept that, but if you do that, it's not a serious matter to them. Okay, not serious matter, that it's not considered that you are bad. Okay, while most is actually a norms that are seen as central to be functioning of a society and to its social life. Okay, norms actually the essentials or characteristic customs and conventions of the society, means their way of life. So if you not follow, like you are violating this most, can be a serious retribution, means you are being this they can consider you as a serious it's actually a big problem. For example, in America, if you are drinking alcohol, okay, drinking alcohol is widely accepted in America, but whereas in Saudi Arabia, the consumption of alcohol is viewed as a violating social mores, and it is punishable by imprisonment. So you can see in America, drinking alcohol is normal, but in Saudi Arabia it can be if you drink alcohol, it can be akan bagi you, maybe it can punish you by imprisonment. So that's why it's important for you to know and understand culture in the every country that you want to do a business. Okay, faham? Alright, now let's proceed to the next one, culture, society, and the nation states. Okay, a society can be defined as a group of people that share the common set of the value and norms. Actually, people that bound together in the common culture, we call it as a society. Okay, the people that are bound together in the common culture. So there is not a strict one-to-one correspondence between the society and also a nation state. So nation state is actually a political creation that can contain a single culture or several cultures. Some culture are embraced in the several nations. I give you an example, the nation of Canada. Okay, Canada, they have at least three culture. At least three culture in Canada. First, we have Anglo culture. Then we have a French speaking culture, and also the Native American culture. So doesn't mean that one nation can be, they might have two or three culture, like us lah, Malaysia. Even though we are Malaysia, one country, one nation, but we have few culture. We have Malay, Chinese, Indian, Singh. Okay, so we have a lot of culture in one nation. Okay, what are the factors normally determines the culture? These are the factors that normally determines the culture. Okay, we have religion, we have a political philosophy, economic philosophy, education, language, and also social culture. Okay, these are the factors that determinants of the culture. When we talk about culture, these are normally the factors lah. We have religion, political, economic, education, language, and also social culture. Okay, next we proceed to the social culture. Social structure. So a society social structure is basic social organization. Normally they have two dimensions that you need to consider. We have the degree to which the basic unit of social organization is the individual as opposed to the group, and also the degree to which a society is stratified into the classes and castes. Okay, in general for this one, okay, in general, Western society tend to emphasize the primacy of the individuals, whereas groups tends to figure much larger in many other society. So Western, they are more to the individuals, means they consider more to the individuals compared to the groups. Okay, while some society, okay, they are characterized by the relatively high degree of social stratification and relatively low mobility between strata. So we can see as an example Indian, other society are characterized by the low degree of society stratification and high mobility between strata is example of America. Alright. So before that, you must know what is the social stratification means. Okay, social stratification means that a system by which society ranks category of people in the hierarchy. So you can say that in US, it is perfectly clear that some groups have a greater status, power, and wealth than other groups. Social stratification is actually the society that you rank accordingly based on the hierarchy. If you have the higher position, wealth means you are in the higher hierarchy. So it's what we call as a social stratification. Okay. Next we have the individuals and also groups. Okay, you must know what is a groups means and what is a individuals mean. So in a group is an association of two or more individuals who are shared the sense of identity and who interact with each other in structured way on the basis of the common set of expectation about each other's behavior. So in many Western society or in many Western countries, the individual is the basic building to block the social organization. So because as you can see, people in Western, they are more to individuals. Okay, whatever they work or whatever they do, they tend to emphasize on individuals first, not on the groups. Okay, while in Asian, they can say they are more emphasized to groups. Means apa-apa dia kerja ke apa, they tend to make dia akan fikir pasal groups dulu, baru dia fikir pasal individu. Macam dalam organisation dulu, dia akan bekerja untuk organisasi dulu, baru dia akan fikir pasal individuals, pasal diri dia. So that's the meaning of individual and groups. Alright. Next, in society where the individuals is emphasized, normally individual achievement and entrepreneurship are promoted, but this can be encouraged job switching, competition between individuals in a company rather than team building, and a lack of loyalty to the firm. Okay, if you are more to individuals, you tend to do the job switching. Your company can with you can change your job, and the competition between individuals and also competition between individuals in the company being high, and there's no team building because you are tend to work individually, and if you are more to the individual person, you are lack of loyalty to your organization. Okay, but in societies with the strong identification with the groups, if this organization are more strong to the group, normally they have a cooperation and teamwork. Okay, and encourage and life employment is common, but individual initiative and creativity may be suppressed. Okay, it's normal. Okay, some people they work more towards to yourself, and some people they work more towards to the organization, into the groups. Okay, I give you example in Japan. Okay, the social status of an individual is determined as much as by the standing of the group to which you belongs, by his or her individual performance. So traditionally in Japan society, in Japanese society, the group was the family to which an individual belongs. So Japan, they are more to the groups one. So whatever you work or whatever you do is for society. Means if you are work in the company, whatever you do, actually company become first, then you become the individuals. So in Japan. Alright, now again we go to the social stratification. Okay, as I told you just now, social stratification, actually all the society are stratified on the hierarchy basis into the social categories or social strata. So this social strata is actually usually defined by the characteristics such as family background, occupation, and also income. So in the societies, they are differ in the terms of the degree of mobility between social strata, and also with regards to the significance attached to the social strata in the business context. So for you to understand further, we go to the next slide. So social mobility. What is actually social mobility? Okay, social mobility maksudnya refer to the extent to which individuals can move out of the strata which they are born. It means that if you are born in that way, that strata, that caste, you cannot change it forever. Okay, you cannot change it forever. That's what called as. I mean, you can change it based on the, based on the, you can move out the strata in which they are born. Means you can change your hierarchy lah. Okay, you can change hierarchy. So normally, this strata, okay, we have two types. We have a caste system and also class system. Okay, the most rigid system is a caste system. Actually, it's a closed system of stratification in which social position is determined by the family into which a person is born, and change in that position are unlikely. So I give you an example. Change in this position is usually not possible during an individual's lifetime. Means if you, I don't know, before maybe if you have a different casta, so if you are in the low casta, change your casta is actually impossible for you. Means you are born in that, so forever you build in that casta. Then we have the social system. A less rigid system is the class system, a form of open social stratification in which the position a person has by birth can be changed through achievement or luck. So it means individuals born into a class, for example, at the bottom of the hierarchy, they can work hard, and they can go to way up. Okay, then it can be like conversely, if you are individuals born into the class in the top hierarchy, you can just slip down if you're not stay. I mean, you cannot, if you can't work hard to stay your hierarchy. Means sometimes in the top, you are in the top and suddenly you can become down. So this is a class system. And or you come from the bottom and you can go up. Okay, this is a class system. Okay, now we have a religious and also ethical system. So when we talk about religion is a system of shared belief and rituals that are concerned with the realms of a scared. Means something you believe, what we call a worship. Okay, so religions with the greatest following in the world, we can start with the Christianity with 1.7 billion, Islam with 1 billion, Hinduism 750 million, Buddhism 350 million, and also we have Confucianism, and also influence behavior that shape culture in many parts of Asia. Okay, we go one by one. So this is the religion. You can see the dominant religion in the world. Okay, you can see lah here. Okay, this is not important lah. Okay, we have a Roman Catholic, Protestant, Islam. We have Sunni, Buddhist. They have types of religion lah. Okay. Now we go to religion and also ethical system. Okay, ethical system is a set of moral principle or values that are used to guide and shape the behavior. So, in order for you to shape your behavior, is based on your morals, principle, and value. That's what we call as an ethical system. So the ethical practice of individuals within the culture are oftenly intertwined with their religion. So when we talk about the ethical practice, what we call significantly related with your religion. Okay, when we talk about Muslim in Malaysia, Malay, when we talk about Malay, the culture must be related with dengan agama Islam. Same with the India, their culture is relate dengan dia orang punya agama also. So we go. Okay, Christianity. Christianity is the most widely practiced religion, and it is common throughout Europe, the Americas, and also other countries settled by Europeans. So what are the economic implications of Christianity? Okay, in 1904, Max Weber suggested that it was the Protestant work ethics. It means they are focused on hard work. Okay, they focus on the hard work, wealthy creation, and also frugality that was driving force the capitalism. So Max Weber, they focus on the capitalism, right? This one is not important, I just skip. Okay, then we have Islam. Adherents of Islam is called as Muslim. People who siapa menganut agama Islam, we call it as Muslim. They believe that there is one true God, which is Allah. Okay, Islam is an all-embracing way of life that governs human beings. So, what is Islamic fundamentalism? Okay, in the West, Islamic fundamentalism is associated with the media, with militants, terrorists, and also violence uphill. However, the vast majority of Muslims point out that Islam teach peace, justice, and also tolerance. Perhaps in response to the influence of Western ideas, some Muslims feel threatened, and they are more promoting a commitment to the traditional belief and also practice. Okay. Fundamentalists have gained political power in many Muslim countries and have tried to make Islamic law the law of the land. Means we call it as kita ada hukum hudud. Means hukum hudud is only for Muslim. Okay, try to make this Islamic law. Okay, but not in Malaysia lah. In other country, maybe Islamic country. Then, what are the economic implications of Islam? So under Islam, people do not own property, but only act as stewards of God, and thus take care of that which they have been entrusted with Him. So we believe that all the property is come from God lah. Okay, while Islam is supportive of business, the way business is practiced is prescribed. So businesses that are perceived to be making out a profit through the exploitation by others, by deception or by breaking contractual obligation are unwelcome. So kalau you buat business, contohnya lah you buat business, you ada letakkan rasuah. Contohnya kena bayar rasuah ke apa ke, dan tak jujur dalam business tu adalah satu benda yang sangat tak betul, sangat haram di sisi agama Islam. Okay. Then we have Hinduism. Okay, Hinduism practice primarily on the Indian subcontinent, focus on the importance of achieving spiritual growth and development, which may require materials and physical self-denial. So what are the economic implications of Hinduism? So Hindus are valued by their spiritual rather than material achievement. They are valued, lebih penting kan, they are valued the spiritual rather than material achievement. So promotion and adding new responsibilities might not be the goal of an employee, or may be feasible due to the employee's case. Okay, like I think we already discussed in the moral class, right? We have a caste in the Indian punya culture kan, kita ada caste stuff. So if you are in the lower caste before, it's not now. People, you are very hard for you to get the promotion, or you very hard for you to get recognized because of your caste. Okay, so okay, that's Hinduism. Okay, now proceed with the Buddhism. Okay, we change the color. Okay, Buddhists found mainly in Central and also Southeast Asia, like such as China, Korea, and also Japan. So stress, normally Buddhism they stress spiritual growth and the afterlife. Okay, rather than achievement whilst in this world. So Buddhists, they are normally they are stressed on the spiritual growth and also kehidupan selepas mati, rather than the achievement dalam where you are alive. So what are the economic implication of Buddhism? Okay, Buddhism does not support the caste system. So individuals do have some mobility, and they can work with the individuals from different classes. So they don't support the caste. So you can just work any caste that you have, whether you are low caste or high caste star, kan? So they just work. So entrepreneurial activities is acceptable in Buddhist society. So normally you can see most of the Buddhist Chinese especially, they like to do the entrepreneurship lah, dia lebih suka berniaga. Okay, then we have Confucianism. Okay, Confucianism, they are practiced mainly in China. They teaches the importance of attaining personal salvation through right action, the need for high moral and ethical conduct and loyalty to others in the center of Confucianism. So what are the economic implications of Confucianism? So there are three key teaching of Confucianism. We have loyalty and reciprocal obligation and honest. Okay, you must have loyal. You must obey. Okay, you must obey, and also you must be honest. It may all lead to the lowering of the cost of doing business in the Confucian society. If you want to do business according to society, you must try to lower your cost. Okay, that's why you can see in China all the products more cheap compared to others. Even though I don't know whether the quality is important, but they tend to do by lower product because they know that if you sell it in lower cost in doing business, because nowadays people like cheap things, right? If like me, I don't mind if I buy the made in China punya barang as long as satisfied me. Walaupun dia rosak, it's okay lah. Macam what you buy is worth to what you pay. Okay, next we have language. One obvious way in which countries are differs is by their language. So by language we mean both the spoken and the unspoken means of communication. So language is one of the defining characteristic of the culture. So when we talk about the culture, language is one of the most important factors lah. Okay. So countries may differ in terms of language or means of communication. Normally there are two forms of language. We have spoken and also unspoken. And when we talk about language, is actually one of the defining the characteristic of culture. So culture, language, culture they have a relationship. Okay. Now go to the spoken language. Okay. Countries with more than one spoken language often have more than one culture. In Malaysia, kita ada more than one spoken language. Kita ada Bahasa Melayu, we have Tamil, and we have Chinese, Mandarin. So Chinese is the mother tongue of the largest number of people in the world. Means most of the people in the world they can speak Chinese. While English is the most widely spoken language in the world, and it is becoming the language of the international business. So normally the international business, their language is English. So however, knowledge of the local language is beneficial and in some cases critical for the business success. So if you want to do a business, for example, in Saudi Arabia, so it's very beneficial for you if you can speak Arabic. So if you want to do business in China, it's very good for you to know Mandarin. So it's actually give you the extra advantage compared to other company, compared to other people. Okay. Same like in Malaysia, even you are individual. So if you know extra language, it's very beneficial for you actually. Okay. Next we have unspoken language. Okay. Unspoken language refer to non-verbal communication. What are the non-verbal communication? It include your facial expression, include your hands gesture, and so on. A lot of example of what we call non-verbal communication. So many non-verbal communication are culturally bound, and because they might be interpreted differently, can be result in the misunderstanding. Okay, I give you example. Okay, example, raising your eyebrow actually is sign of recognition in the most culture, while smiling is a sign of joy. It's like normal one. But another example, we can say making a circle with your thumb. You make a circle, and also the four fingers in the friendly gesture in US. Okay, actually, it's if you make your thumb the circle with your thumb, actually friendly gesture in US, but it's actually a vulgar sexual invitation in Greece and Turkey. Okay, but you cannot do that in Greece and Turkey because it's mean that vulgar sexual invitation. So it's really bad. Then using the thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up. No, most of us when do the thumbs up, it means that it's alright, it's okay, alright. Okay, but in Greece, okay, thumbs up too, it means that absence, something that sangat we can say sangat rude for them. So that's why if you want to go to another country, you must learn their non-verbal communication also, because some people they go, okay, good, you think good is good, but in Greece good is actually absence for them. Dia macam vulgar words lah macam tu. Okay, same like I go to Myanmar last time, they say if you point out, contohnya tunjuk, okay, that's you use your jari telunjuk ni, you tunjuk, you want to tunjuk there, or you call people using that jari telunjuk, sini macam tu kan, macam kita sini lah, it's normal. But for people in Myanmar, they think that If you do that, it's actually a sign for you to fight. So that's why you must learn this unspoken language or non-verbal communication. So next we move to education. Okay, let's move to education. So formal education, formal education is the medium through which individuals learn many of the language, conceptual and also mathematical skills that are indispensable in a modern society. So the knowledge based training and education opportunities available to a country's citizen can also give the competitive advantage in the market and make it more or less attractive place for expanding business. So the general education level of the country is good indicator of the types of the product that might sell in that location or the type of promotional materials that might be successful. On the other word, from an international business perspective, one important aspect of education, its role is actually determine the national competitive advantage. I mean, if you have a good education system level, actually it's a good competitive advantage to your country. See? Okay, now we have culture and the workplace. So this is important of an international business is operating in different country. Is how a society culture affect the value found in the workplace. So how does society culture impact the value found in the workplace? The most famous study undertaken to answer this question was done by the great Gerd Hofstede, who isolated 4 dimensions that he believed summarized different culture. So according to Hofstede's different dimension, 4 Hofstede dimension, cultural dimension. Okay, according to him, we have 4: power distance, individualism versus collectivism, uncertainty avoidance, and also masculinity versus femininity. Okay, we go the first one. So power distance. Okay, power distance dimension, they focus on how a society deal with the facts that people are unequal in physical and intellectual capabilities. According to Hofstede, high power distance culture were found in the countries that let inequalities grow over time into inequalities, power and wealth, while low power distance culture were found in the society that try to play down such inequality as much as possible. Okay, you have a low power distance culture if you try to slow down the inequalities, but you have the high power distance culture if you let the inequalities grow over time lah. Okay, then we have the individuals versus collectivism. As we discussed before, individual versus collectivism focus on the relationship between the individuals and his or her fellows. Okay, in individualistic society, the ties between individuals are loose and individual achievement or freedom were highly valued. But in the society where the collectivism were emphasized, the ties between individuals are tight, and in this society, people are born into collectivisms. They are more in the group side lah. They are such as an extended family, and everyone was supposed to look after the interests of his or her collective. Means, as I told you before, individuals is towards more individual, your individual punya performance, while collectivism is more on the group and organisation. Then we have the uncertainty avoidance. They are measure the extent to which different cultures socialize their members into accepting ambiguous situation and also tolerating ambiguity. So ambiguity means uncertainty. So members of high uncertainty avoidance culture, they place a premium of job security. High uncertainty, they place job security, career patterns and also retire benefit, while lower uncertainty avoidance culture, they more characterized on the greater readiness to take risks and also less emotional resistant to change. Okay, lower uncertainty avoidance, they don't want to change. Okay, then we have the masculinity versus femininity, looks at the relationship between gender and also work roles. Okay, in masculine culture, sex roles will sharply differentiate and traditional masculine value such as achievement and also the effective exercise of power determine culture ideas. Okay, while feminine culture, sex roles are more less sharply distinguished and less differentiate and little differentiation was made between men and women in the same job. Okay, we have a masculinity and also femininity. So later, Hofstede they add the fifth dimension we call have a Confucian dynamism, is to capture attitudes toward the time, persistence, ordering by status, protection of face, respect for tradition, also reciprocation of the gift and favor. So these are the most important one lah. The Hofstede dimensional cultural dimension. Okay, kita ada power distance, individualism versus collectivism, uncertainty avoidance, and also masculinity versus femininity. Okay, this is the country that normally have that using this 4 dimension. We have power distance, uncertainty, individualism, masculinity. Actually, there are ways to calculate this thing. Okay, you can see here Indonesia. Okay, their power distance is quite high. You can see this. And individualism is low, means they are more to the collectivism than group. And also masculinity is just 50-50 lah. Okay, now we go to the cultural change. Okay, cultural evolve over time. The culture is actually change over time, although changes in the value system can be slow and painful for the society. So social turmoil is an inevitable outcome for the cultural change. So as countries become the economically stronger, cultural change is particularly common. So I give you an example. In the beginnings of 1960s, okay, the idea that women might hold a senior management position in a major corporation was not widely accepted. Means if you are a woman and you hold the higher position, it's not widely accepted. But now, today, it is a reality that you need to face. The capability of the woman in the business world now make the American culture change. Not only American, but all around the world. But I'm not sure in Saudi Arabia. I think they still have what we call as discrimination toward women. But the country, that developed country in Malaysia and other country, the woman, the high position woman is actually acceptable. Okay, what are the implications of the manager for manager? Okay, there is a need for manager to develop cross-cultural literacy. As I told you, the understanding about the different culture is important. There is a connection between culture and also national competitive advantage, and there is a connection between culture and also ethics in decision making. Okay, we have a cross-cultural literacy. Individuals and firms must develop cross-cultural literacy. As I told you, it's actually to understand the culture around nation. So international business, they are ill-informed about the practice of another culture, are unlikely to succeed in that culture. If you want to open your business internationally, it's important for you to learn other cultures so you can be successful in that culture or in that country. And individual must also beware what we call as a ethnocentric culture. Okay, a belief in the superiority of one's own culture. Okay, again, if I told you in Malaysia, you must know the Malaysian culture because we have Chinese, Indian, Malay. So if people don't know, maybe they think, oh, only Chinese living in Malaysia, only Indian living in Malaysia, or they just consider us as one culture. So in order for you want to open the business in Malaysia, so must understand the culture of Malaysia. How you want to understand the culture of Malaysia? You can do research. You can ask people. There's a lot of ways now. You can Google or whatever. Okay. Why you need to do this? Because you will success in your future for the business. Okay, culture and competitive advantage. For international company, the connection between culture and competitive advantage is important. Why? Because the connection suggests that which country are likely to produce the most viable competitors, and the connection has implication for the choice of countries in which to locate production facilities and do business. Okay, just memorize this lah. the importance, what is the connection relationship between culture and competitive advantage. It include the connection suggests which countries are likely to produce the most viable competitors, and also the connection has implications for the choice of countries in which to locate production facilities and do business. Okay, since we already learned about the culture dimension made by the Hofstede just now, we have a power distance. We have individual versus collectivity, individualism versus collectivism, uncertainty avoidance, and also masculinity versus femininity. Now we see the cultural dimension in a few countries. Okay, in China. Okay, China, greetings are done in order of age. They always greet the eldest member in a group first. In China, they are elderly, seniorism. Okay, as status is recognized by age, university degree, and profession, use a person of title is important. So address someone as a doctor or professor whenever possible. Do not call someone by their first name until they ask you to. If they have title, use the title. If they have doctor, you call him doctor. If you have professor, call him professor. Okay, that's the most important culture dimension in China. Okay, now we have the culture continue the cultural dimension in China. They deploy senior staff member to communicate and make announcements to general staff. Normally, senior staff is the one who need to communicate and make announcement to the general staff. So you be prepared for the answer like we will see, or let us think about it, which is in the non-confrontational Chinese society, it actually means no. If they answer you, okay, we will see, or let us think about it, it actually means no. Okay, you expect frequent rescheduling of meetings. Okay, it is a good idea to set up appointments a few weeks in advance and reconfirm 1 or 2 days before schedule the meeting. So frequent rescheduling meeting in China is actually normal, and it's a good idea to set up the appointment few weeks in advance, and you must reconfirm 1 or 2 days before the scheduled meeting. Okay. Now we have cultural dimension in America. They have time and its control, comfort with change. For Americans, time is critical factor that is battled on the daily basis. So we are in the adversarial relationship to time. So we talk about saving or wasting time, managing time, and beating the clock. So Americans added the term multitasking to the English language. Okay, multitasking to English language, and actually Americans they are struggle with the time. And we have the comfort with change. Okay, Americans are fundamentally optimistic and place faith in the future. So as a young culture with a few traditions trying us to way of the past, our identity and inspiration are projected forward in time, and America lean change to progress. I mean, they said American, they can change any time because they always positive. Okay, and they have faith in the future, so they are really comfort with any changes. Okay, they like things that are new and improve. Okay, next is sufficiency. Okay, closely related to American emphasis on the individual control over destiny is the value of being self-sufficient. To succeed without depending on others shows supreme self-determination, self-reliance, and also self-confidence. Okay, next is status. In American culture, we value the idea of equality. Okay, the quotation "all men are created equal" is arguably the best known place in any of American political documents. So they always use equality. Everything is equality. We are create equality. Okay. Next, language. Because this is slide come from America, so everything about America. Okay, Americans are low context communicators, so the words we speak are expected to deliver everything that's important during verbal interaction. They pay far less attention to factors. Okay, far less attention for factors such as body language and the context of what is being said. So Americans appreciate communication that gets straight to the point and tend to interrupt when the conversation isn't moving along. So this is language. Then we have individualism. So individualism is the belief that each individual's interest should take place over those of social groups. So collectivist cultures, by comparison, assign value based on the roles of person placed within a group. So in America, they are more to individualism. Okay. Cultural dimension in India. Okay, India, their respect is based on the seniority and not necessarily on the proficiency, skills, and also knowledge. They lay out clear instruction and also procedures to employees. They expect low job turnover. They expect frequent reschedulings of meeting, and it is good idea to confirm a day before the scheduled meeting. Okay, this is the culture of Indian culture in India. Okay, they do not expect decision to make at the meeting. So as meeting are merely forums for exchange the information. Normally when we do meeting, the decision is not on that meeting, so they just exchange the information during the meeting. So they aim to build lasting relationship, and they put your university degree or any accreditations in your business card. So in the business card, put everything lah, you dah ada PhD, diploma, semua letak dalam tu. Okay, cultural dimension in Germany. Okay, we have power distance. This dimension deals with the fact that all the individuals in the society are not equal. So it is expressed the attitude of culture towards these inequalities among us. Means power distance in Germany, they are more to inequality, so the power distance is high. Individualism. The fundamental issue addressed by the dimension is the degree of interdependence of a society maintained among its members. It has to do with the whether people's self-image is defined in terms of I or we. Okay. In individualist society, people are supposed to look after themselves and their direct family only. So this is individualism in Germany. Masculinity and femininity. Okay. Germany is considered a masculine society, so performance is highly valued and early required, as the school system separates children into different types of school at the age of 10. People rather live in order to work and draw a lot of self-esteem from their tasks. Managers are expected to be decisive and assertive. Status is often shown, especially by cars, watches, and also technical device. So if you have a technical device, you have a good car, you have a branded watches, you are actually under masculinity. Okay, in German they are like that. Okay, now we move to the culture dimension in England. Okay, the word please and thank you are the words that should be used a lot. In UK, we are considered it rude if you do not use them. Okay, if you ask for someone or something, say please. Please help me. Please, can you please? If somebody give you something or helps, you must say thank you. Okay, please and thank you. Smoking is prohibited by law in many public places, restaurants, cafe, bars, cinemas, and etc. If you smoke in this place, you will have to pay a fine. Okay, many people in Britain do not smoke or are trying to give up smoking. Even if they smoke, it is unusual for people to smoke inside their own house. So smoking is actually prohibited by law. So even though they're not going to smoke inside the house. Okay. Most of our family do not smoke, but they are happy for students to smoke outside in their garden, for example. British people love pets. Okay, if you go to the park, it is likely that you will see many people walking with their dogs. Dogs are generally domesticated and well behaved, so there is no need to be afraid. So if I'm the one who at the UK park or whatever, I will run away because too many dogs. I'm scared of dogs. Then queuing. The British are well known for their love of queues. It is considered very rude to jump a queue. If there is a queue for something, please wait your turn. So I think the British is that they are normal to do the social distancing. Everywhere they go, they do the queue. So of course queue need to follow your turn lah. No need to jump to other queue. Okay, then we have holistic cultural dimension in Dubai. So in Dubai, they have high power distance, mean UAE, okay, has societal status that differ from each level. For example, certain ruling family have a greater power, okay. Apa kalau dia dah family daripada family dia raja, okay, so they have social status that different in each level. High collectivism in UAE has strong focus on family, okay. Example, during Ramadan, it is very important for them to gather with the family relative. And they have moderate uncertainty avoidance, where UAE strives a lot in many aspects, yet they will do plan ahead. Okay, so they just like moderate lah. They avoid to uncertainty. Normally they will plan ahead. Okay. Okay, that's all for today's class. So before I end the class, I will give you the code of the quiz. Okay, the code for the quiz is culture 03 IB. So please answer your quiz. Anything if you don't understand, you can message me on WhatsApp.